Okay, so the fourth variation of the Mozambique, right, is as follows. Again, it's in a 2-3 rumba clave, and this is what it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the Mozambique pattern with your right hand is as follows. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. I'm sorry, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the most consistent pattern throughout this groove. Okay, everything else can change. Okay, so you play that Mozambique pattern on your ride cymbal or a cowbell if you have it. So I'm just backtracking just a little bit for those of you who haven't seen the previous videos. Alright, so I'm going to piece these particular notes together one after the other. Okay, and by the way, that's a great way to do to learn any particular rhythm that's difficult. Is just plug it in. You know, start from the first note and start plugging it in. If you're not sure how to do that, have a teacher show you. Or just watch some of these videos. That's what I do all the time, especially with my students. Alright, so I'm going to play this pattern a couple times so you can hear it. And then we're going to piece it together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 Okay, so I hope you can hear that. Alright, so the first note is a bass drum on the end of 1. So we will play the Mozambique and just play end of 1 on your bass drum. So 1, 2, I'm sorry, before I do that, learn the Mozambique pattern first, because that's where all this that's where all the meat and potatoes lie. You know, that's the most consistent thing on this whole beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm getting ahead of myself. So learn that particular rhythm and then start piecing these together. So get comfortable with that particular rhythm with your right hand and then start adding them in, because you need to have that Mozambique foundation with the right hand, because that's where all the groove is. Okay, so now we're going to start piecing in. Bass drum on the end of 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that is the first plugin. The second note is on beat 2. Okay, this is very similar to the previous video, the third variation. So check that out first, and then this one will make sense. So now the next note is a bass drum on beat 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 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 and 4 and. Okay. I really should get some software that puts the page down here so you can actually see the notes. Alright, the next bass drum is on the end of 3. Okay? So it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay? Here's how it here it is with the Mozambique pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 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 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, double note. All right. Then the next note is another bass drum on beat 4. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. This is just the first bar. It's a 2-bar phrase, so we're just working on the first bar. Here it is with the whole pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 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 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you need to, if you are working on this yourself or playing along here, slow it down. There's nothing wrong with that. If you know, a lot of my students, I have them play 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I mean, we really piece it together. But for time's sake, with a video and a camera, I'm not doing that. Okay, so the next note, right, is the end of 4 with your snare drum. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and here's the whole pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and. All right, that's the first bar. Then on the second bar, we have a tom on the end of 2. Okay, so it'll be 1 and 2 and. Okay, so when we piece that together, this is what you get. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. Okay, so then the next plug-in on the second bar, we have a floor tom on beat 4. So the whole thing would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here's what it is with the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then the last plug-in is a bass drum on the end of 4, so it comes right after the floor tom. Okay, so it will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, that last note seems to trip a lot of people up, because once the groove goes back to 1, you have a bass drum right on the end of 1, so it trips people up sometimes. Okay, so here it is. We're going to play this slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. So that is the whole pattern. So now, just to clarify, I know I've been talking about piecing these together. This particular method, I cannot take credit for it. I just want to disclaimer here. My teachers that I had back in the day when I was in college, they taught me this, and a lot of you that went to the Drummers Collective in New York City, or now the Collective School of Music, I think they're called, my teachers taught me how to do that. So a lot of you that went to the collective know what I'm talking about. So I cannot take credit for that. However, it is a great method of learning rhythms, especially hard rhythms. So, and it has worked for my students extremely well. So if I had one particular method that I had to rely on for the rest of my life to teach students, and of course, myself, how to play certain rhythms, it would be the piecing together note by note method. It's just fantastic. So that is the fourth variation of the Mozambique, right? Now we're going to get into a couple more. So please ask some questions if you need to, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. So stay tuned for the next one. See you soon.